Liftoff.
Hello and welcome to the Ability Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane, your Abilities Expo ambassador, and navigating you through this episode of the show. We're so excited. We're going to be joined by President and CEO of the Abilities Expo, David Korse, to talk about what we have to look forward to this whole year when it comes to expos. There's some new locations and just some exciting things happening for the Abilities Expo. We wanted to share it with you. We're also going to deal with some of your frequently asked questions that we get here on the Facebook page, and who better to answer those questions than the man himself, David Korse. All right, without any further delay, let's let the fun begin. I am so happy to have with me right now my great friend who always takes me out on a date a day before the Abilities Expo in Los Angeles, CEO and President of the Abilities Expo, David Korse. What's going on, David? How are you?
Hey, Paul, I'm great. How are you? I'm
doing fantastic. So, David, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do I get my bone and ribeye this year again?
Depends on how this interview goes. We'll see.
There you go. We'll ask Nikki in the back. Nikki has my back, so she'll definitely.
She's wandering around somewhere back there. There she goes.
Hey, David, thank you so much for joining me. You know, we have been planning this for a while, and the reason why I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons: to find out the state of the Abilities Expo, since this is the new year 2020. There's some new locations. There's some locations that's been omitted, as well as the upcoming Abilities Expo Los Angeles, David. So let's first start off by talking about what do we have to look for this year in 2020 with the Abilities Expo and some of the locations.
Well, you're right, Paul. So we've dropped out of one place and we've added a couple. So this year in September, we'll be doing our very first event in the Phoenix area in Arizona, a place called Westworld in Scottsdale, Arizona. We've been trying to get to Phoenix for 4 or 5 years now, and finally a venue opportunity opened. And so if we're successful in September, then we'll make Phoenix and Scottsdale an annual stop on the Abilities Expo Tour. As you probably know, Phoenix is the 5th largest metro market in the United States. It's a giant area, and we've already got some really exciting partners, particularly Ability 360, who has a very strong presence there, both as an independent living center and a world-class adaptive gym and adaptive sports program as one of our sponsors. So September will see us for the first time in Phoenix. We will not be going back to San Mateo this year, so we will not be in the Bay Area for the short-term foreseeable future. And then in 2021, we'll be adding a new event. We'll be going to the Southeast to Miami for the first time, and that'll be in November of 2021. So we'll be 6 shows this year, plus the one in Toronto in May, and then 7 shows in the States, plus Toronto in 2021. So busy times.
Yes, it is, David. And when we look at the decisions out there to have some new locations out there, what was kind of like the rationale? You talked about in Arizona about being the 5th largest metro area out there in the Phoenix area. Is there a huge population of, let's say, people who've contacted the Abilities Expo and said, hey, when are you coming to Arizona? Did that kind of give you like a read that, hey, we need to be out there?
It's a combination of things, Paul. We get emails and Facebook posts and Twitter responses all the time from people all over the Abilities Expo to come visit their area. And I wish we could go to all of those places. We're limited to how many events we can do each year. Our exhibitors who pay to be at the events basically told us that 7 is the most events they can do in a given year. They have other things to do besides coming to an Abilities Expo event. It requires a lot of their time and a lot of expense. So we have to pick the 7 markets that give us the best chance of a large audience of qualified visitors. That's people with disabilities and their family members and therapists and the whole community. And that's why you see most of our events are in large metropolitan areas. Phoenix is the 5th largest metropolitan area in the country, and that gives us a really good opportunity to bring a good-sized crowd for the purpose. As you know, we never charge for admission. Admission is free to our visitors, but we need to make sure we get enough of them to satisfy our exhibitors who pay to be there. We also need strong partnerships. We've been very lucky to get some very strong sponsors from the not-for-profit community in the greater Phoenix area, particularly an organization called Ability 360, which is both an independent living center and a world-class, amazing adaptive sports and gymnasium facility, a training facility. So we were able to find a venue, a place called Westworld. We're able to get repetitive dates around the same time every year. That's very difficult for us to do in a lot of markets. And so everything came together for Phoenix after several years of trying to be able to get dates there starting this year. Other places we've looked at, and there have been several, but for example, places like Denver or places like Seattle, where we get lots of requests. We'd love to go there, but we've been unable to find a venue, a place where we can hold the event that's willing to give us more than 1 year. So we were able to get that done in Phoenix. We haven't had an event in the Southeast since our Atlanta event, which did not work. We did it for 5 years and were never able to get to critical mass. We've been wanting to get to Florida for a while, could not find a venue. We finally were able to find one. And so starting in November of next year, we'll hope to have an annual event in Florida. So it's a combination of where people want us to come, areas where exhibitors would like us to go to help support their businesses, and areas where we think we can find partners and a venue that will invite us to be there on an annual basis.
And David, I'm glad you touched that as far as talking about making sure that it's supported, and also that the vendors see that all these locations are viable for them. Because some of the questions we get from the Facebook page is people want to distribute like free information, but what they have to realize, this is a paid event for the vendors and for us at the Abilities Expo, that we wish we could do everything for free, but we can't do that because we have to pay the rent for the convention centers and everything. So for ones who would like to exhibit or to like to find out more information how they can be a part of the event, what is the best way they can contact, or what would you like for them to go?
I've got a couple of choices. It's all the contact information is on our website at abilities.com, but all of the inquiries for potential new exhibitors most go through my partner, who's our chairman, Lou Schomer, and his name and phone number and email address are all on the contact page on the website. People can reach out to me directly, and I'll forward it on to Lou. But our inquiry, sort of for-profit companies that want to exhibit to sell or market or brand their products and services, and we charge those people for being in the show. We also get not-for-profit organizations that sponsor the event, and those inquiries come in directly to me. And we have a special program that we offer to not-for-profits, which is much less expensive and is kind of a co-branding opportunity where we help the not-for-profit increase their visibility to our community, and we ask them to do the same to their community. So for-profit inquiries go to Lou Schomer, and the not-for-profits come in to me.
Awesome. And for ones who may be listening and viewing for the first time, David, about the Abilities Expo, let's give them a round off explanation of some of the things that they'll find at the Abilities Expo, and why, if you know a person who has a disability or maybe have a family member who's part of the aging and adult population, why is it so important to come out to the Abilities Expo in their area?
Sure. Well, let's talk about the visitor side first. Look, it's the internet is amazing, and you can look at products and you can look at services and you can compare products and features and height and weight. But Abilities Expo gives you, as a consumer, you or a friend, to actually engage with the products. Paul, you use a power chair, and you can come to Abilities Expo and you can actually try different power chairs. You can see different features, how they fit, how easy they are, does it work for you, it doesn't work for you, and whether it's products or services, it's a chance to not only experience them first person, but to compare from exhibitor to exhibitor at the events. You can get more sort of shopping and comparison shopping done in a few hours at Abilities Expo than you can do in hours and perhaps days of research online. So it's the difference between experiencing it first person or experiencing it digitally. In addition, we have free consumer workshops. We have free loaner scooters for people who might need them to get around. We have free wheelchair repairs, parts and service, free power chair repairs from Quantum and from Permobile. Most of our events have an artist market where you can see the artwork of artists with disabilities, and they showcase and sell their art. You can look at the latest and greatest in assistive technology. This year we'll have our 25-foot climbing wall, our adaptive climbing wall at all the events. We have our events arena with hourly demonstrations of adaptive sports, adaptive dance, service animal demonstrations. So it's not just about things to buy. We have so many not-for-profits that are showing their resources and looking to provide education and assistance and guidance. So it's a pretty all-encompassing event for the disability community. For those 3 days, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're in town close to you. And admission is always free. So it's not just about buying stuff, it's about experiencing the community and getting a chance to meet other folks and to network with people who have some of the same challenges and opportunities that you may have, to see that there are other folks moving forward in their lives with similar challenges to you. From an exhibitor point of view, gosh, I mean, where else are you going to find that many people from the disability community at one place and one time? Our smallest event last year had almost 4,000 adults and about 800 kids from the disability community that attended over 3 days. And our largest event in Los Angeles last year had almost 8,000 adults and about 1,500 kids under 18. It's an awful lot of people to engage with over 3 days. So as an exhibitor, if this is the population you want to influence, whether it's visibility, branding, public relations, actual sales, lead generation, there just isn't a better opportunity. Those several times a year we're around the country or in Canada becoming an exhibitor at an Abilities Expo, and this was a paid commercial announcement.
There you go. And David, when it comes to the climbing wall, can I go next to the wall and said, "You need me on that wall. You want me on that wall"? Can I say that?
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, we do need you on that wall. You can't handle the truth, Paul. We're ready to get you up that wall. It's waiting for you, babe.
Hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And David, another question that we get from the Facebook page a lot is, if I have problems registering or how to register, what can I do?
It's easy. You've got two choices. You can register online. It's free. Just go to abilities.com and the register button is right there. And that will allow you to have a much faster process when you get on site. If you pre-register, show up on site, go right to the registration desk, say, "Hey, I pre-registered." They'll pull up your name, find out how many guests you have with you, give you wristbands, and you're in. It's quick. If you don't want to pre-register, or some people don't have access to getting online, that's still okay. Just come to the show. We have on-site registration. You have to simply fill out a one-page form. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and then go to the registration desk and give them the form, and they'll give you a wristband or wristbands for your guests. So it's free either way. Pre-registering is a bit quicker, but it's not a hassle.
And another question, thanks, David, for clarifying that. Another question that we get on the Facebook page a lot is parking. What is the best way to attend these events? Any suggestions out there?
Sure. The parking situation is uniquely different from venue to venue. Some of our venues, like New Jersey, for example, is great, and Dallas is the same way. So is Chicago. Parking is free. First come, first serve. We have about 150 or 200 extra accessible parking spots, more than the normal spots that are there all the time. The parking is supervised, so if you have a placard or a license plate, you'll get preferred parking. If not, first come, first serve, but free of charge. At some of our other venues, parking is charged. Sometimes it's a very nominal charge. For example, in Phoenix, it's only $5 a car. The biggest problem for parking is at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Will be in a couple of weeks. The LA Convention Center, as you probably know, Paul, is right next to Staples Center. Mm-hmm. And the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Kings hockey team and the Los Angeles Clippers all share the parking lot. So the LA City of Los Angeles owns the parking lots. Unfortunately, they charge $25 a day, and it's the only place that does not have incremental or accessible parking. They just aren't allowed to do it. And so their parking is more dear. It's $25 a day, and there's not that much accessible parking. So it's a bit more challenging. On the good side, for people who have access or entitled to use Access Transit, which is the accessible transportation system for LA County, we're the largest transportation hub for access over those 3 days. You can make plans in advance with Access, get to the hall, they'll drop you off, and they'll take you back home again. For people who are driving someone with a disability, we have a drop-off point that's very convenient where you can drop people off close to the entrance and then go park the car and meet them later. So it takes a bit of planning. Los Angeles is our most challenging, and as I say, Chicago and Dallas and New York are absolutely free. So it changes from venue to venue. But if you go to the website and look under parking and directions, it'll tell you exactly what the rules are, where to find the parking, and how much of a charge there is, if there's a charge.
Awesome. And David, I'm sure everyone enjoys hearing about the parking situation and how to navigate through it, because being in Los Angeles, it's pretty interesting out there, but there are ways around it with access services, Uber, drop off, all these other different things out there that makes it a little bit more easier for us. And David, is there anything else that you like ones to hear out there as far as the Abilities Expo, things coming up, or things you like to talk about coming up at our next Expo here in Los Angeles coming up in a few weeks?
Paul, the challenge for me and for us is with 7 or 8 different events a year, the actual content of who's going to be there, what products are being shown, and what services from show to show to show are just confusing. It's hard to keep track of which is new for this show or what's coming to the next show, but that's why the site is so helpful. For folks to just go to abilities.com, click on the show they're interested in. Keveline and her team do an amazing job of populating the site with everybody that's going to be there, every exhibitor, every sponsor, a floor plan, a list of events, the seminars, the workshops, the event arena, special features, where to park, which hotel to use if you're staying over. We put as much information there and make it as easy to access as we can. So if you have any questions at all, you can always email me or call me. My stuff is on the site.
Thank you so much, David. And one thing I appreciate about you and your partner Lou Schomer is you guys are on the floor at these expos all the time. You're accessible. Ones can come up to you, say hello, shake your hand, give you guys a hug, tell you hello. And that really shows just the testament of how much you and Lou both believe in this expo, and it's pretty incredible out there. I just want to commend you guys both for being out there so that we can all come up and say hi.
Well, if you're going to be silly enough to wear bright orange polo shirts and matching orange Crocs on your feet, you better be ready for people to come up and say howdy. So as long as we're going to dress like clowns, we'd love for everybody to come up and say hello. And you're right, hugs are always welcome.
I love it, David. And one of these days, we'll share with the audience all the material it took to make my shirt and my jacket. We'll have fun with that one day, okay?
It's a conversation we probably shouldn't have on the air.
There you go. Hey, David, always great to catch up with you. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, my friend.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.
A huge shout out to my friend, David Korse. Still not sure if I'm going to get my bone and ribeye dinner or not, but we'll see what's going on. David said they're tallying the votes right now to see if he'll be able to stake. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, go to abilities.com to find out more information about the Abilities Expo when it's coming to a city near you, location near you. We'd love to have you out there. And don't forget, coming up in a couple of weeks at the LA Expo, February 21st to the 23rd. Don't forget to come out. Check out the website as far as parking is concerned, some things that you can do to make sure that your experience is awesome. Check out the exhibitors that's going to be there too. And something tells me that we're going to be talking to a few of the exhibitors coming up here shortly, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ability Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane. See you soon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.